We speak a little bit more now about this to Mpumelelo Zikalala, who's a legal analyst and director at Zikalala Attorneys. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. So, Mr. Magashule, they're saying that the ruling is clearly legally wrong and not in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. He says he's therefore instructed his legal team to take immediate steps towards appealing what he calls an incorrect judgment. What are your thoughts on this, the wording and what he says of the verdict?
Good evening to you and also to the listeners. I wouldn't agree with him, because if you look at the judgment of the court, or what the court's thinking is, they are basically saying that your constitutional rights in terms of Section 19 are protected. However, they are governed by the social contract in which you sign or that you agree to with the political party that you want to join, in this case, the ANC. As part of the terms and conditions of the Constitution, you have this rule that says you must step aside if there are certain allegations which are against you, in which there are matters that are going on in court. Now, when that situation has occurred and you have agreed to it when you entered into this particular contract, you can't then come back on another day and say, this will not apply to me because it's unconstitutional. The court made a very important distinction. He said you must distinguish between a precautionary suspension and a punitive suspension. In this case, it categorizes this suspension as a precautionary one, because it says it is not the final sanction that one may be able to get. It even quoted the recent case of SAP versus Leg, if I'm not mistaken, where this issue was well ventilated. The Supreme Court of Appeals came to a conclusion on this matter and was basically decided as to what is supposed to happen. So, in terms of the interpretation, I don't believe that the court is wrong. However, the expelled SG, or Mr. Isma Khashoggi, still has his right in terms of going to the Supreme Court of Appeals or even the ConCourt.
All right. So one of the other things he said was that any ANC member knew that no NEC resolution can trump that of a conference resolution, saying even the lawyers of the ANC accepted this reality, but the court found differently. Was there a reflection of this, and why do you think there seems to be a difference of opinion between Mr. Magashule, his lawyers, and the court?
Maybe it would come back to the understanding of what the role of the NEC is between conferences, because it's very clear if you read the NEC constitution. It simply said that the NEC is the highest decision-making structure between conferences. Now, when conference takes a resolution, it does not go deep into the terms and conditions or nitty-gritties of that particular resolution. It simply says we're in point A, we want to get to point B. As to the mode of transport and the forms and the manner in which it's going to be utilized to get to that particular point B, it is left exclusively in the hands of the NEC. It's the highest decision-making structure between conferences. Now, if the NEC is going to decide that this is how we are going to implement this particular resolution, probably the NEC can't be wrong. But most importantly, you must also remember the position in which Mr. Magashule occupies within the ANC. He is the chief administrator, meaning all these provisions, the ability of them, of all the rules being implemented effectively, they basically fall within his jurisdiction. This is something that you could have seen or ought to have seen earlier, not to see it now when it applies to him, and then he would seek to challenge it within the court of law.
Okay. Mr. Zikalala, I'd like to get your opinion now on the ruling made earlier on by the Pietermaritzburg High Court on Jacob Zuma's application to stay his arrest. This is something that we have discussed with you before. What are your thoughts around the findings? And do you think it will lay to rest the question over jurisdiction of a lower court over a higher court?
I think it does, but what lays to rest that particular question effectively is the wording that is used in both the Constitution, if you take Section 173, because it is very clear. It says that the ConCourt, Supreme Court of Appeals and lower divisions have jurisdiction, inherent jurisdiction to regulate matters of their own processes. Those words are very important, because it is not, if it's not the processes of the local division, then it has no manner or something or any enabling provision that would allow it to alter something that has been issued by the ConCourt. To further support that particular fact is that the ConCourt has its own separate rules. If it was that the ConCourt and the lower court divisions were supposed to have let's say, concurrent jurisdiction, or maybe be able to suspend the lower court, be able to suspend the ConCourt's orders, then they would have used one set of rules, but in this case, it doesn't.
Okay, I need to
ask.
Yes, you can complete your train of thought. Apologies.
No problem. It simply means that I can't meddle as the lower court into the decisions of the Constitutional Court. If the application brought by the former president were to be presented at the ConCourt, I'm pretty sure we'll be having a different conversation right now. And if you look at the letter that was written by the legal representatives of the former president, Babu Jacob Zuma, on the last day in which the minister and the commissioner were supposed to act, it seems as if then they thought, maybe we may have approached the wrong court. We want to approach the ConCourt now. However, the manner of approaching the ConCourt was different, because we don't write letters to any court. It's a notice of motion with an affidavit with averments as to why you want a particular relief, and that's the only way in which we are able to communicate with the court.
I do need to ask one final question. We believe that Jacob Zuma's lawyers also wrote to the Constitutional Court saying that they are readying themselves for fresh or consequential court action if the High Court goes his way, referring to the Pietermaritzburg High Court has obviously ruled not in his favor. What would have been the purpose of this, and would it have changed events that are set to take place on Monday?
It would have, because it would have meant that if today's order would have gone their way, the message would have been to the correctional services: we have got a suspension, the order has been now removed, the order of the ConCourt. Please make sure that the former president would sleep at home today, which is today. However, as it went the wrong way, then it means that the status quo would remain. That particular order is still there, it is enforceable, and it must be complied with at all times. But I don't think, from a statutory point of view, there is anything preventing them from going on Monday and saying that before we go on to the main case, let's start with this. Can you be able to suspend this order? But that must be made after ample notice has been given to respondents, in this case, which is the State Capital Commission and all the other interested parties, so that they're able to remedy their defects in terms of applying to the wrong court to suspend the order that has landed the former president in jail.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Appreciate your time and your insights. That is a legal analyst, Mpumelelo Zigalala, who is director of Zigalala Attorneys.